So welcome everyone. I'm Christine Moran and I'm Managing Director at ICPPD. And today we'd like to give you a small piece of information about our professional diploma in advanced supervision across professions from a holistic and integrative approach. And this program now is due to commence on the 20th of November, and application forms and information leaflets are available on our website. So today I'd like to introduce to you the tutors and facilitators of this program and the internal supervisors. And so welcome Marie Lowry, who is program leader, tutor, and an experienced supervisor, Dr. Bobby Moore, international supervision expert, and Tom Moran, president of ICPPD and experienced supervisor and practitioner for many years. So each of you are very welcome, and you might like to tell our followers a little bit about your part or your contribution to the ICPPD Professional Diploma in Advanced Supervision across professions. So Anne-Marie, maybe I'll ask you to tell us a little about what you do.
Well, I'm the support as program leader. I would see my role first as support to the learners on the journey. And I meet them on the first weekend and I'm there throughout the course. I explore the supervisory relationship with them. And in class, I would go through the different models of supervision. And I give support and guidance for their essays. And I would facilitate their 50 practice hours of practice of supervision across the course. And I'm also an in-house supervisor with Tom on the course.
Great, Anne-Marie. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Anne-Marie. So you're kind of the container, if you like, or holding it all together.
Holding it together, yeah, part of that, yes.
Yeah, great, Anne-Marie. Thanks. And Bobby, you're welcome. And it's always a joy to meet with you, but it's also always a great enhancement for our program to have you part of it. And this year, you've, I think, even more part in it. You're a bigger part in it this year.
Yes.
So, Bobby, what are you bringing to it? What do you see that you're bringing to the learners?
Well, Christine, I think it's important to have an idea that supervision is about supporting lifelong learning. And we only ever learn things that we don't know. But there's a perfect storm happening at the moment in terms of learning, where we're living in a time where an environment changes faster than we can adapt. That means we're constantly in a place of not knowing. So supervision and learning really come to the fore. Also, we have the COVID pandemic that put all of us into survival mode. Survival mode, there isn't time to be thinking and making meaning. And the third thing in this perfect storm is that we have been put onto virtual platforms, places that we wouldn't normally want to go and choose to go. We bring the three of these things together, which means that building on what Anne-Marie has just said, it's not just about the theories that exist, but it's participants on this course co-creating what is the emerging sense of supervision for our time. So I really want to invite participants along to an adventure where we create the new things beyond the knowledge that we already have. And that's an exciting adventure, I think.
Oh, thanks, Bobby. That's just very exciting and fresh. There's a lovely freshness in what you're saying, and the co-creation in times of crisis and change for everyone on this planet.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, Bobby, you're going to be bringing the extra dimension of organizational supervision from your experience of doing this work worldwide, Bobby.
Yes, because one of the other things we notice in these days is that we're increasingly finding it difficult to cooperate with each other. Globally, we're fragmenting and splitting and separating. We're getting pushed into fundamental kind of certainties. And to enter into a time of exploring and learning to work together, which is really the art of co-creating. Yeah. So I look forward to that part of the program as well, yes.
Yeah, and you're reminding me of your model, which of course is reflexive supervision, and you're just reminding me of that. You know, when you're speaking to the fragmentation, both internal and external, Bobby, and the need for, I suppose people are reflecting as we're pushed into times we're in, but the need for further reflection and reflexivity. Do you want to say something on that?
Yeah, if we think about the reflexive turn, when we hit periods of crisis, often our first intuition is that somebody has caused this, so they should sort it. Mm-hmm. And then if we get a little bit more insight and we slow down, we can begin to get a sense, well, we could co-create, and we begin to think about possibilities. But that we could only ever happens if we go to the next stage, which is I will. It's the personal commitment, and that's the reflexive turn. The reflexive turn is dropping into what is it that I bring that can transform. And when I bring that along with what others bring, that creates all kinds of possibilities. And that's what a holistic program like this offers, is the opportunity for participants not to be coming along to simply gain from us, but to co-create with us. And that reflexive turn as part of what all of us do is an added dimension to the idea of reflection.
Yes. And even as you're speaking, I find myself going into that space nearly. Yeah. Thanks, Bobby. Thanks for that. As I said, even listening to you, I'm captivated in some way by what you're saying. And it's really interesting, the whole, just what you're bringing into this conversation. It invites me to expand both thinking and, ways of looking at perspectives and things as well. So, yeah, thank you, Bobby.
And if you wanted to say what's a holistic program about, it's about just what you have said. It's the invitation into something that expands beyond what we're familiar with, beyond. That's the arena of learning. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. So this is we're doing this here as we're chatting. This is the experience and the living of and the live conversations, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
And like Anne-Marie was saying earlier, it's building on the knowledge that's there and taking it to the next step.
Yeah. And Tom, I'm going to come to you, but I'm kind of distracted a little bit now into what's happening because this seems like an opportune time for me to kind of introduce my weekend, if you like. So I'm kind of doing one weekend as well, and my weekend is really just what you're after saying, Bobby, to focus on the holistic. And of course, at ICPPD, everything holistic underpins all of our programs. And by holistic, I suppose we mean the body-mind interrelatedness, the wholeness of it, and our connection with our environment and our planet. So my weekend is very much a focus on the humanistic, if you like, the humanness of us all, and personally and professionally, and who am I as a person, and also how that translates into who am I as a tutor, who am I as a therapist, who am I as a supervisor, and looking at creative processes and the spirituality of counseling and supervision. So, I as I said, don't want to take from you, Tom, but I just felt that links in with what you're saying there, Bobby. And then, Tom, can I come to you, Tom? You're part in this program, and you have many years' experience as a supervisor and as a practitioner.
I always feel it's a joy to be able to do this work, because I come in to the group halfway through, I've come in a few times to the group, but I'm coming in with half the group. So I'm coming in with maybe 8 or 10 professionals, people who are the leaders in their own fields and different organizations, and they're sitting down together just to do like what Bobby is saying, just to be humble enough to sit with their own perfections and imperfections, and to be open enough to allow that to emerge in the company of the others around the room, which it takes a fair bit of courage to do it. For whether it's you're the supervisor like myself doing it, it takes courage to be in that place. But what you're doing is setting up safety. And if you set up safety with adults, they learn just the same as kids learn. If you set up that safety place, and it's lovely because I find that I'm probably modeling whatever I've learned from all the experts over the years, that's my model of supervision. But I have a little bit of all the models probably integrated as I need them. But people bring their own models that they're actually, the different models that they're training on at the moment, the ones they're learning about, and they're choosing to try them out in this environment in the group. And it's lovely just to see people grow in that place. And I suppose the bottom line I always find as that's happening is confidence is developing. And it's more about personal confidence and professional competence and confidence. So it's just lovely to see people taking up their power, people that might be maybe having a go at you at the very beginning, because there's always the group dynamics going on, and people might be saying, this fellow's making this too easy. And by the end of the last session, they're saying, God, it was just lovely to work with the level that we worked at. And once I got out of my own way and did what I needed to do, and yes, all the transference, counter-transference happens in the group. But if I'm happy enough to sit back in that and breathe within that, everything happens that needs to happen. And I just love the work.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah.
And if I can come in here, Tom, you named the experts that were on the course. You were one of the experts as well. I would have learned a lot about supervision as a student across supervision across professions from both yourself and Bobby. And just to honour that you were one of the experts that I learned from.
Didn't we train you well, Anne-Marie?
Yeah, we just acknowledge that.
Yeah, no, thank you, Tom, and thank you, Anne-Marie, for that. And if there's anything final that anybody wants to say, we will just, Anne-Marie, is there anything you want to say? And I suppose maybe I'm also thinking of the delivery. It's blended?
It's blended learning, and we have some weekends in class and then some online. And when we have class presentations, they're in class together. And we have our exit interviews in person on the first weekend. And it's always a great way of meeting people. And when we know it works well online, as well as that has been our experience from last year. And really look forward to meeting the new group and beginning the journey.
Yeah, thanks, Marie. And I hear from the girls in admin that the course, that, you know, there's great interest. There are a lot of learners enrolled, and it's almost full. There are about 2-3 places left in it. So that would be great to have full capacity and full group. Thanks, Anne-Marie. Bobby, anything you want to have a final word?
Yeah, I think another way of describing this experience, we use the word supervision to describe, is that it's like a reflexive conversation. If I was publishing the book now, I think I would call it reflexive conversations rather than reflexive supervision. And reflexive conversations create new ideas as they happen. So for me, this piece has been a reflexive conversation. And you have stirred, Christine, an interest in me just when you talked about the holistic piece, that actually one of the emerging things in supervision is about eco-supervision. In the same way that there's a growing interest in ecotherapy and eco-treatments, it's about that healing of our relationship with the other than human world. And much of the learning about how to adapt to environments that change faster than we can adapt, how to live in times of survival mode of epidemics, and how to shift to new creative platforms. We can learn a lot from the way nature does that. And as part of nature, eco-supervision may well be the emerging new platform for supervision. And that has generated for me in this conversation.
That's exciting.
That's very exciting. And Bobby, I'm just going to say, so when you're writing the new book, can I have a chapter in it?
we all can.
Yeah. And can I ask you to give the name of your current book, Bobby, and you know where people can access that?
Yeah, it's available on Amazon, and it's reflexive supervision, and it's really about a set of tools to help us have rich conversations about things that matter, and that's very much, as Tom put it, in the context of the professional lives and the backgrounds that people come from, which are, for all of us, all our theoretical frameworks are changing and evolving. So it's that blend of what people bring, and as Anne-Marie is talking about, it's about building on the established insights and ideas and leaning into the future, which picks up your holistic kind of piece that says we are unfolding, we are evolving, and being part of something that's evolving is an incredible adventure.
Thank you, Bobby. I'm really inspired by you this morning. Thank you. And Tom, is there anything that you want to say?
No, except that just being part of this conversation and just listening to Bobby there, the excitement that it enthuses me again. But I'm sure the poor devils that are looking at it now, wondering whether to do the course or not, will be probably in a knot for a couple of days. So I'm hoping they'll give us a ring and sign up with us and enjoy, because the people that have gone in the past, they really have enjoyed, and they've learned a lot, and they've stepped up. They're now in more senior positions in their workplace and that, which is great to see. So I just wish people luck and hope to have the courage to give us a go. So thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Bobby. Thanks, Anne-Marie. And anybody who's interested, the website is there. And if you call the office, the girls will be very happy to answer any questions or to put you in touch with the academic director, who will support you in your queries. So my pleasure, as always. Thank you so much.